Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 2024 Heartmen's Soccer Media Day. I am your host, Nick Basil. It's great to be back here for the fourth year as we continue here in our Media Day. With this time, we'd like to welcome in Central Methodist University and an in-depth look at the 12 Heart programs. We are continuing with the Central Methodist University head coach, Adam Gala, as well as senior Basil. Welcome to both of you guys. It's great to see you. Coach, how's it going today?
Doing great. Obviously, kind of start of preseason, so we're moving slowly but surely. So
How's training going?
so far so good. We return a good core group who've done a fantastic job in terms of setting the standards, and I think they've done a really good job of obviously last year being my first year, trying to implement what we want to try to do here, and they've done a fantastic job with that. And the new guys that we have had come in have really transitioned into the program really smoothly. So really excited. So
Coach, I wonder if you introduce Basil for us and tell our audience what he means to your program.
yeah, so Basil here is a senior here for us. Just an absolutely fantastic player. Very versatile, can play multiple positions. But I think, a big key for us for this upcoming season is to try to get him back into the midfield. He was first team all conference this past year for us as a center back. We were definitely a little thin back there last year. So bringing him into the midfield is huge. He brings a very competitive fight and competitive spirit to our team in our program, and our goal and expectation is to be competing for national championships. And he's someone that brings that standard and that competitiveness day in and day out. So we're really fortunate to have Basil both from a player skill side of things, but also from a leadership character side of things as well.
What kind of leader is he?
He's a competitor. He'll get on you. He'll let you know if you're not doing, your job, your role, your responsibility. I think he wants to compete and win no matter what it is. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing I can say. He's a competitor. He's definitely, hard-nosed, hard-working, and it brings a lot out of the guys as a whole. So, some of the young guys have a quick learning curve when they arrive here, but in a good way. So, but definitely a competitor at heart for sure.
All right. Well, let's ask the senior right now how he's feeling. How's the first week of training been, Basil? How you feeling?
Right now it's like the end of the first week, so we practice almost every day, twice a day, pretty intense. And I went to the gym a couple of times, so it's hard, but we're getting there slowly. And I feel like now with the weekend we have just one session a day, so it's kind of gonna cool down a little bit, and we're gonna have more time to recover and do some also team bonding stuff, which is also a little bit more important, I feel like, than we paid attention the last couple of years.
Coach mentioned your role in this team. You can play multiple positions. He can rely on you for a lot of things. You're a senior this year, so maybe your role has changed a little bit. How do you see yourself in terms of playing in your senior year, helping the younger players assimilate into the style of system that you want to play? How will your leadership role maybe change this year because you are a senior?
I don't think it changed a lot because I was like that since I came to CMU, even when Coach Nicholas was here. I feel like it's just kind of my personality to push the players to their best. So I feel like I just continued how I played from the beginning. But obviously, as a senior, you are a little bit more maybe respected in the locker room. They listen a little bit more to you than when you're a freshman or a sophomore. But in the end, quality speaks for itself. If you bring day in, day out what you're expected from the coach and for your teammates, people are going to listen to you. So I feel like as long as I play on the level I want to play and I am doing what coach wants to, I feel like it's easy to lead here because you have the minutes and then you just have to speak. And yeah.
Basil, you're a native of Switzerland. I'm
Yes.
wondering if you could share a little bit about your journey from Switzerland to Central Methodist.
So I was playing there in an academy for a long time, and then I decided, because it's different in Europe than here, you can't really study when you play on a high level because you practice on times, the schedule is not going to be as easy with university than here. And then it was time either to work the first team or start working, and I thought, why not studying and still kind of play on a good level here? So I decided to try to go to America, and Coach Nicholson at that time, Coach Keller wasn't here yet, offered me a scholarship. And obviously at that point, it was the number one NIA team in a long time. So it was not a hard decision to say yes to come to CMU. And I like the setting of being in a small town as well, because there's not a lot of distraction. You can really focus on your studies and on soccer.
Yeah, and good to have a winning tradition at that university as well, for sure. Hey, Coach, as you mentioned, this is year number 2 for you. I'm wondering what you may take from year number 1 and apply it to this year.
Oh boy, I think you know, there was a lot of areas that we needed to address within the program just during that transitional year. Part of it is playing style, part of it is personnel and roster, part of it is leadership. It's just a little bit of everything. So I think the biggest thing that I was really happy with is two things. One, I think the core group of guys we have coming back is just a fantastic group. We have a good 8, 9 guys that are really have really truly bought into our style of play here and how we want to try to see the game, see out matches. And then on top of that, they bring good work rate, good character, they're good people off the pitch. You know, they go to class, they do all the little things that matter. Not just to our program, but the university as a whole. So, so that is definitely for us. You know, I think the two biggest takeaways is just that we've really started to implement that blueprint of how we want to play, because it is different than previous years. So it's not good, right, or wrong. It's just what fits myself and my staff, and making sure that we find the right players with the right skill set and the right personality that matches that is really, really important. So you know, last year we had it in pieces. But I think I'm really excited about this upcoming year. We've addressed a lot of little areas that needed to be addressed, and I feel like we're in a much better spot today than we were 12 months ago. So,
Coach, you play 5 of your first 6 games in the state of Missouri. I'm wondering, is that sort of how the schedule fell, or is that maybe by design, trying to get some rhythm going as you head into conference?
yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's a big conference, so it's already hard to play games close by, in particular with William Woods and Mobap coming in next year. So it's part of it is definitely, you know, trying to find those couple of schools that are a little bit closer. You know, the other thing that's really difficult is just the schedule as a whole. You know, we play so many matches in a tight kind of time frame, and it's I'm trying to get as much, you know, recovery time between matches as possible. So if we can cut down you know, travel a little bit here and there, it goes a long ways over a course of a season. So just did our best to try to find a couple matches that are closer to home, and hopefully it helps in terms of that recovery side of things kind of moving forward. And the other part of it is it's a long, some of those trips are long, and it's some years it's a little bit easier to schedule those than others. So it's a little bit of everything. So
Let's talk about conference play, because it is tough. Let's hear it firsthand from someone who has been in the trenches in conference play. Basil, what's it like playing in the Heart?
I feel like the Heart is a really hard conference. If you compare it to others, we have probably the most competitive teams in the conference. With obviously MNU win it last year. Every team can beat everybody in the Heart. It's always a battle. It's not like you go somewhere and feel like, oh, we're gonna win now. Hi, today it's gonna be an easy day. Doesn't matter where you go or who is coming here. I feel like those CMU, when we play at home, we barely lose games here at home, which is a good thing. It just gives you a little bit of confidence early on when you play the first home game and you win it confidently, and that helps. But in general, the Heart, I feel like, is one of the best NIA conferences for men's soccer for sure.
What you talked about, along with Basil coming back, you've got 8, maybe 9 players that you really like, the core on this team. Give us an idea about some of those positions and players that you're looking forward to welcoming back this year.
yeah, so obviously, you know, Basil, but on top of that, Matthias Stork had an absolutely fantastic year for us last year. He was second team all conference. He's just a really good player. So skillful on the ball. incredibly hardworking, reads the game incredibly well. His movement off the ball is good. Despite his size, man, he gets stuck in defensively and wins those first and second balls to the best of his ability. So he's an absolutely fantastic player for us. Two guys that were out with injury last year, that we're really excited to have back. Guy and Hayden Wood, two guys that are just fantastic players. Guy is just so calm and composed on the ball, brings a lot of speed. I think he'll really help with us in terms of the attack and getting in behind a little bit quicker. And then Hayden Wood is another player who played the first couple matches and then got injured. And I think he played a total of maybe 10, 15 minutes in conference all of last year. But he's just kind of the glue to our back line. He organizes incredibly well. He wins his aerial battles and his 1v1 duels really well. He's very, very composed on the ball and is kind of the start of our build-out play in terms of possession. So we got a bunch of guys. Those aren't the only three, but those three guys are huge pieces to what we do, and they're fantastic players and good people, and they fit in really, really, really well with what we're doing here.
It's going to be another really fun year in the Hart Conference. It's going to be another hard-fought year in the Hart, no doubt about it. It is every year. So we thank head coach Adam Gala and Basil Henri from Central Methodist University, the home of the Eagles. Gentlemen, thank you. Best of luck to you this year. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.